Chinese Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, Xue Bing, is in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, for peace and security talks. During his visit, the envoy has met with government officials. His visit here is part of China's efforts to foster peace and security in the Horn of Africa region. The region is made up of 8 countries, including Ethiopia, Somalia and South Sudan. It has experienced prolonged insecurity. This is Bing's first trip to Kenya since taking up the post in January. Before arriving here, he toured Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia and Ethiopia. From Nairobi, he travels to Uganda and South Sudan. Now let's discuss this further. We are joined by Athere Kavinse, a scholar of international relations. Thank you very much, Athere, for joining us. Xue has been on a tour that has taken him to Kenya, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Somalia, Uganda and South Sudan. How significant is this tour?
Well, thank you so much, Penina, for having me. I think this tour has been very important in a number of ways. I think the first one is that it reveals the earliest outcome of the last ministerial conference on Forum for China-Africa Cooperation, in which China and African leaders pledged to forge a new path forward, and peace, security and development really has to be part and integral component of this new initiative or renewed confidence between China and African leaders. I think secondly, the tour by the envoy has revealed the prevailing opinion and attitudes among African leaders, in the sense that they no longer want to appreciate to be talked down on. Rather, they are looking for equal partners who are willing to meet them at their point of need. And this is an important, considering the fact that China has promoted a policy of peaceable development and in interference in the internal affairs of African countries. So I believe this has been a very important manifestation of the tour by the special envoy. And the third one has got to do with the fact that it shows us the increasing role of China in terms of taking its international responsibilities more prominently. China has by far been a major partner for Africa's development, for 12 years in a row, being the largest trade partner. And China is willing to share the proceeds of its development with Africa, including on the issue of peace, security and development. And I think finally, it also is indicative of the collective will of African countries that the special envoy visited to forge together a new spirit of peace, security and development. And this commitment can be seen from the realization and also agreement among these partner countries that they are ready to host a peace conference, supported by China in the first half of this year, maybe in the next 1 or 2 months. So I believe that this trip has been quite illuminating of some of these salient issues that are involved in the China-Africa cooperation.
What kind of role should we expect the Chinese envoy to play in the region moving forward?
Well, I think a major role that most African countries would expect to see from him is a role of a consensus builder. We really need somebody who brings a fresh eye to things, a fresh perspective on how to do things. And so building consensus is something that has been missing in the Horn. And if we can find some neutral eye that can, galvanize public opinion as well as those of leaders to ensure that these Horn countries come together and reimagine their future, that would be very good. I think the second role that we expect to see out of his efforts in the Horn is to share some of the development experiences, from China with the Horn countries. China has been an active participant in this Horn. And so we expect the special envoy to promote these ideas of a Belt and Road Initiative as well as Global Development Initiative, and see how these Chinese-led development initiatives can be useful to the African continent. And I think finally, China has more population than Africa, yet it has maintained peace, stability, as well as development for its people. I think there is a huge opportunity for the special envoy to share some of these experiences of China in terms of how the Horn countries can work at national level, but also collectively to forge forward in a new spirit that actually engenders development, engenders peace and security in terms of their international cooperation.
Now, here in Kenya, Shaw has held talks with government officials, and Kenya has been an important player in peace and stability in the Horn of African region. So what kind of partnership should we expect between Kenya and China when it comes to stabilizing the region?
Well, I think a number of suggestions can be put forward here. The first one has got to do with the fact that, of course, Kenya is the largest economy in the region. As an anchor economy, what happens here in Kenya has ripple effect throughout the region. And China has been a major partner for Kenya in development. So I think the first thing we need to see is more strategic partnership between Kenya and China in a manner that promotes Kenya's development, since promoting Kenya's development is inherently working towards stabilizing even the region economically, given the role that Kenya has played. Secondly, Kenya, as a peace and security anchor state for the region, has been involved in peace initiatives in all these neighboring countries, including Somalia, South Sudan, Ethiopia. And so I believe that Kenya and China already are sharing these similarities in terms of their approach to the peace and development of the region. So I believe that their synergy in this front, they will multiply their voices, multiply their efforts, as well as reach with regards to regional leaders and countries, so that they can play a more unifying role. And then a final, pitch on this would have to be to do with the multilateral setting, especially the UN Security Council. China is a permanent member. Kenya is currently a non-permanent member of UN Security Council. As a garant of international peace and champion of international development, I think the UN Security Council is a platform, again, for these two countries to collaborate, to synergize their efforts, and to share, experiences in terms of how to anchor sustainable peace, security, as well as development in the Horn of Africa.
All right, we appreciate those perspectives. Thank you very much for your time. Athere Kavinse joining us via Zoom from Nairobi.